Now, one thing that I've really noticed is how important it is that you never run any sort of nitrate remover if you do not have nitrate, and you do not run phosphate removers when you do not have phosphate. So these sorts of dosing pump setups are awesome, but they must be used for solving problems, otherwise they create problems. So in this case, it's had nitrate remover going in for a long period of time, and the oxygen level of this tank is almost zero. Now, it appears that if you're got a carbon source, and that's a nutrient to grow bacteria, but you don't have the food for the bacteria, then that is very well related and sucking the oxygen out of the water. It's got a nice protein skimmer which is cleaned fairly regularly, but this tank has had ongoing and constant problems. And the two main issues that I see in this tank is, number one, the nitrate remover has been dosed daily, yet for large periods of time there's no nitrate. That in itself is a major problem. Then the other thing is that the salinity of this tank is super high. So I really want to run a maximum salinity of about 0.026, and I really do not want to run a salinity anywhere near here. So keeping an eye on your salinity and making sure it doesn't creep up, and also never trust your instruments. So there's all sorts of fancy equipment on the market that seem to make your life easy, but I really recommend cross-checking them. So particularly with your salt meters, regardless of what it is that you test, if every now and then, just bring it down to the shop and get us to test it against our test kits. And if it's giving the same reading, then cool. But if it's not, and particularly if you're having troubles with your tank, then this is something that you need to rule out ASAP. So you've got to be able to trust the instruments you've got. And the way to trust the instruments you've got is by cross-checking them against ours. So we'll just test it against 3 or 4 different hydrometers, refractometers, and so forth. And if they're all showing similar results, then we're happy. If any of the results are out, then we know that we have a problem, because salinity is everything, and we just don't want to dose anything to fix problems if we don't have problems.